I'm BENEE.
And I'm Josh Fountain.
And today we're doing BMI's How I Wrote That Song. We're going to be talking about our song, Supalonely.
There we
How
go.
did
We did it.
Well, we wrote Supalonely in 2019.
Before the world fell apart.
Before the world fell apart. We wrote it on a trip to LA that we had, where we went away for a month. And we were working in a studio called The Treehouse, weren't we?
Yeah, something like that. All I remember is I arrived on the Friday. I arrived on the Friday, and then the next day was the day we met up with Jenna.
Yes, we worked with Jenna Andrews.
We worked with Jenna Andrews, the wonderful Jenna Andrews.
Yes.
And the first session of the trip, we wrote Supalonely.
We did.
I remember it coming together really fast because I was panicking because you were in a bit of a sad mood, but you didn't want to write a sad song.
No, because I knew that the rest of the trip would just be a bunch of sad songs, which
it was.
It's pretty flat. But no, I had broken up with my ex-boyfriend like a week before leaving, and I kind of didn't really know. I knew that it wouldn't be a good decision because I knew that I would be sad when I was on the trip, but yeah, we arrived there and I was just like, to Josh, you know what? It's gonna be a bunch of sad songs. Let's just try to have a fun one in the session. And Jenna kind of brought this energy to the session, which I think we needed because I felt a bit flat. But no, it was a really cool session. It took like 6 hours, I think.
Yeah, well, we probably got the bulk of it done.
Like first 4 or something.
Yeah, probably in a couple of hours. It was like one of those dream sessions where everything came together really quick.
Just bloody perfect.
Overthinking it, and I remember just trying to throw as many things into the session as I could, but keeping it simple and stripped back. And
yeah,
I remember at the end of the session thinking, that's cool. Well, it's kind of I quite like this song.
I was happy with it,
but definitely wasn't thinking it would go on and do what it did.
No, because it's normally the ones that I'm most happy with, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but that I think people won't like as much, because that's normally what happens. But I think in this case it was like kind of obviously the opposite, because we had this song where I wanted to ramp up the auto tune and kind of swear a bunch in it and take the piss out of myself, and I think I had no idea how people would react to that, but I had a lot of fun in the session doing that. And people liked it, which was cool.
People liked the song.
Yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, I wanted to keep the indie elements in there. That was like one of the first things I said at the start. And did Jenna play the guitar, or did you play the guitar?
No, the guitar was like, it's like a 1-chord sample that I had in my sample library.
There we go.
And there's like 2 chords in the whole song.
There are.
Because I remember you said, I want to do something with guitar, which sort of freaked me out because I don't really play guitar. And so I was scrambling to try and find something, and had this chord while you guys were chatting. And then I just sort of pitched it down. That became the bass for the whole song. And then, yeah, there's no real instruments on that song. The bass is all programmed in, and obviously the drums are programmed. So I was just furious, like panicking away, like in this first session of this big writing trip, trying to get something in. And while I was doing that, you guys were just talking about what you were going through. Wow. How did the Supalonely line come together?
I think I was just expressing how sad and lonely I was really feeling. And it was all kind of a joke, to be honest. We were just joking around, and I was had a bunch of lyrics written down, and Jenna and I were both just kind of laughing about how super lonely I was feeling.
I remember Jenna saying, I think maybe you said super lonely, and she's like, super lonely?
She's super lonely.
And it was like, oh wow, okay. Like, we'll put it into the song, and it seems so silly, but it was so fun.
It might have even been like an ad-lib that we did first and then recorded like the proper melody, because I feel like the ad-libs was when I went in to kind of, I usually what I do is I write down my lyrics, and they're not necessarily in any kind of structure or whatever, and I go in and I'll kind of just freestyle over the beat that Josh has laid out. And then I'll kind of come out and we'll comp it all up and figure out parts we love the most, and I'll go in again and do ad-libs, and the ad-libs on this one really stood out to me because they were just all over the place, and it was a lot of just venting stuff that had built up. That is how we wrote Supalonely.